Today on Dice to Pixels, we're going to be reacting to 5-minute crafts. Okay, that was a lie.
Can we, April Fools.
We're branching out to get more views.
Wow.
This video will be titled "The Best Hack for Sony PlayStation."
Sure.
It'll work.
I will.
It'll have a big red arrow pointing at something that isn't in the video in any way, shape, or form.
A hatchet.
Maybe. But
no,
it'll be like to a yacht or something. The thumbnail will be like, you could have this. And the title will be like, best hacks for Sony PlayStation. And then we'll actually be reacting to 5-minute crafts. And we'll get like 1 million views.
Perfect.
What we're actually going to be doing is...
Are we going to be talking about Sony at all, really?
Today, a little bit. Okay. We're going to talk about Helldivers 2. Which is a PlayStation 5 game.
There you go.
It's all connected.
I was so fucking lost there. I'm like, okay, what the... Like, I did not get this memo.
It's okay, Gen Zer.
That's right.
Gen X,
Gen Xer, sorry.
So Chad, you...
Anyway, Helldivers, sorry.
Chad, you actually bought Helldivers 2.
Yeah, I did. A bunch of people in my gaming clan actually bought it as well. Not surprising. 4-player, like, third-person shooter. They changed the perspective for the sequel from the top down.
Yeah. Not happy about that. But.
Yeah, you're one, and then I've seen a lot of reaction about, not having that couch co-op.
Yeah, not having couch co-op is honestly a bit of a dick punch, because that was one of the things that I liked most about Helldivers 1. So, okay, that's fine. I did not buy it yet, although now that I know you did, I'm going to, but I'll talk about why I didn't buy it in a minute. You have not played it, to be clear. You just purchased it?
Well, I jumped in quickly.
But you were hit by the server issues.
Kind of. It's one of those games where, like, you can go down and you can do things like on your own, but you're kind of not supposed to.
Yeah, it's very much a clan game. So the big problem that I was hearing was, aside from the matchmaking not working in the first place, which means that you couldn't actually launch as a squad, the SOS grenades or whatever they are that are supposed to bring in reinforcements apparently just weren't meaningfully working, which is a bit of a problem. So, I think I will have fun with it. The reason that I didn't buy it immediately, my intention was to buy it. I've said before on the podcast that I was going to buy it immediately. I don't want to. I don't own a PS5 yet, and I wasn't going to buy one for this game, and it's not available for a PS4, which is fine. That's reasonable. Even if I had a PS5, I'd hesitate, because it's realistically like a first person shooter. As much as they're like it's third person, it's not. It's a first person shooter. Those I hate on consoles in general. Yeah. So then I was like, no problem. PC crossplay. I'll buy it on Steam. Yep. But this fucking anti-cheat software that they're using is like Chinese malware. It's not Chinese malware, but it's gross. It's like, you can find people talking about it, and they're absolutely right. It's like a kernel level access thing. Kernel
level game guard anti-cheat software.
Yeah. So for people who don't know what a kernel is, it's the base most portion of an operating system. It's what actually talks to your hardware. So there's reasons to put something like that in your kernel, because then you can't defeat it, right? Like, if it's at the base level, you can't really fuck around with it, because it's got uber permission. On the other hand, this anti-cheat software does not have a good reputation, and I don't want it in my fucking like, it's basically, here, voluntarily install this virus, and I'm like, no thanks. So what I'm gonna do, now that I know you have it, because I do want to play with you, I'm just gonna I'm gonna scrub my gaming PC. I have like my personal Gmail and everything logged in on that machine. I'm just gonna scrub all that, because it's an extra machine. I don't need that stuff logged in. I'm gonna scrub everything off of it, so that if it gets hacked or whatever, I don't care. And I'll put it on my IoT network that's low security, so that if it starts doing crazy shit, it can't get at anything important in the house. But Most people don't have that option.
No.
So yeah, like I'm really, really disappointed that they went that way because it's all about getting their money from these fucking like outfits and stuff. They're like, well, we wouldn't want somebody to cheat their way into getting our microtransactions for free. And it's like, fuck your microtransactions. Give me Couch Co-op.
Which was another issue why, like, because Steam, it's been getting some mixed reviews. One, because of the connection issues.
Yeah.
And the A&E cheat software. And the other is because I guess it's kind of pay to win. They have a battle pass called War Bonds. And the paid version gets you not only cosmetics, but like good weapons.
Elemental weapons, yeah. So they shoot fire and I think some other stuff. But now I've been hearing mixed reviews of those. Like it is pay to win insofar as like you can't get them without paying. But I've also been hearing that they're actually not that good. Now I'm sure they'll change that, right? They're clearly meant to be good. Just because they didn't get it right doesn't mean they won't fix it. So, yeah, they made some, like, the original was so good. It was like pure. It worked and it was fun. And there were purchases, but most of them were like, buy this new gun that's different. And this is...
Yeah. A buddy of mine at work told him, he told me that it reminded him of the old Earth Defense Force series.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played that. It was basically you're fighting like hordes and hordes of like alien insects that are invading Earth.
Yeah. Well, I think it came before Starship Troopers, right? And then Starship Troopers was a movie largely based on that. And then the game was based on either Starship Troopers or Earth Defense Force, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be fun. Like just like again, group of 4 people, you group with your friends, and you know, I got a ton of friends that are playing it right now. And if you're going to get it, then
I'll get it since you already have it. Yeah. So now there's the other problem with crossplay, which they're going to have to, well, maybe they won't have to do anything, but I don't know. But you know, a one-armed octogenarian is going to be able to wipe the floor playing on PC against like a world fucking champion playing on PS5. So they're going to have a serious imbalance there because PC is so vastly much better for that kind of game. It wouldn't have mattered so much with the old style of game because it was top down and it's like, that works really well with a controller. But when you're trying to do 360 horizontal and vertical, like a full 3-space shooter.
Do you think the technology is like smart enough to take in consideration that sort of stuff, or like...
well, there's nothing you can really do to take into account because the problem with
in terms of matchmaking.
Maybe. But like you'll still have the problem of like playing with your friends. Like when Chad and I are playing, I'll be able to look around like literally 50 times as fast as Chad. That will translate into an advantage in the game. Now, in reality, you're playing with your friends. It doesn't really matter. But this is going to be a thing that maybe people won't care, but there's going to be a lot of anger about it no matter what, because people will choose anything to get angry about.
I'm pissed off.
It's why I wouldn't choose to get it for PS5 even if I had one, because, you know, given the choice with what is essentially a first-person shooter, I will always take the PC option because a mouse is so much superior to a joystick, at least a console joystick. There have been stories of people who've played with like full-on like large joysticks, like flight joysticks, that have done very well, but little thumb sticks, you don't have enough control. They don't move fast enough. There's not enough travel to make it compelling. So
probably just use a mouse keyboard option on the PlayStation.
You can, well, maybe you can.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if they have enough USB ports.
Yeah, I've only tried it a few times and I've found that it's kind of spotty with a lot of games because they won't implement the actual control set.
Oh.
It'll be like, technically you can control it with a keyboard and mouse, but not really. It'll be like, your fire button is like right click on your mouse. That's fine. But reload, instead of being like R, for instance, will be like button 4 on your mouse. It's like,
yeah, that's annoying.
And they usually don't offer remapping. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. I haven't tried PS5. It might be better, but I know historically consoles and keyboard and mice are...
Well, as of today, the developer Arrowhead Games have pushed out a rapid patch to help alleviate some of the matchmaking problems the PC gamers are running into. So hopefully, if you have the game and you're playing on Steam, you might want to download that, and hopefully it works. So,
yeah, I'll probably be checking it out sometime this weekend. We'll
I will be for sure.
Jump into a match together. I also got to try the Stardew Valley server that Sarah set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled when they moved away from the top down because I thought that style just fit the game so perfectly, and like the whole stratagem system and everything else really seemed great. And then nuking couch co-op was like, oh, but why? That was like the best part of the game.
I don't understand why any game making sequels would take out couch co-op.
Yeah, it's just...
Unless it was just absolutely terrible couch co-op, but...
Well, so I think it's two things. Like Chad mentioned this earlier, it's harder to do couch co-op, near impossible with a fully 3D, like a three space shooter, which this now is, which I mean is a great reason not to do that, but whatever. And then two, people who play couch co-op don't tend to buy their stupid fucking glittery capes.
True.
Because why would you bother if you're just playing with your friends on the couch? You only do that to show off to random strangers on the internet, because that makes sense. So, to be clear, I think the reason they took it out was because they went to the three space shooter. But I also know that historically, couch co-op players don't buy cosmetics.
Yeah.
Don't not universally, but they don't buy nearly as many.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Unless they're children.
Yeah, although again, couch co-op, not so much.
Really?
Yeah, because they're too busy actually having fun. They don't have to buy the red glittery cape to pretend that they're having fun.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you tell I'm cynical about fucking microtransactions? Well, cosmetics, I should say.
Yeah.
Microtransactions, I actually don't have a specific.
Cosmetics should be free.
Cosmetics shouldn't fucking exist.
Or, well, no, they should be free, they should be free, but I think it should be something that you work towards in the game itself.
Yeah, that's
as a reward.
Yeah.
I don't think you should, there's no way you should be paying like $10 for a fucking outfit that makes you look like a bakery chef or some fucking thing.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
No, exactly. And
or
that's
$35 to have something follow you around on World of Warcraft.
Right. Yeah.
Or
and
$4 for horse armor that doesn't do a damn thing.
That's exactly the sort of stuff that they want to sell with Helldivers too. So,
well,
I'm pretty disappointed.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, it's not funny, but it kind of sparked a conversation amongst us about bringing up the price of Helldivers 2, which is $39.99 in Canada.
No, it's $49, isn't it? At least
I thought it was
Steam.
30. Maybe it is $49.
Steam.
I think it's $49.
Maybe it's $39 in the US.
$49.99.
Yeah, I think it's $39 in the States.
39 in the States. So for that price, right? It's a live service game. It's been getting some, apart from the issues, it's decent gameplay wise.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to hate it by any means.
So that brought up some other Skull and Bones.
Yeah,
which is highly anticipated. It's been coming out. It was announced way the frick back. I know there's a forum thread on the gaming clan I've been called Forever Gaming about Skull and Bones and reading back on some of that stuff, and just a lot of the folks there, a lot of my buddies there, just kind of ripping on it. But they're wanting like $90 Canadian for that, like right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're talking about this a little bit, and I basically said games are starting to have the same problem that books do, where you can buy a new game, but why would you spend $90 on a new game when you can spend $20 on an old game that's just as good?
Yep.
Like, there are so many games that you haven't played that I've found myself buying less and less new games over time, because it's like, yeah, cool. Like there's Cursed Crew. I just watched a stream of it. Ambiguous Amphibian did a stream earlier today. And it looks great. It looks like FTL meets Don't Starve on a ship. And I'm like, this looks like something I would thoroughly enjoy. And the demo's out on Next Fest, and I will probably play it, a bit of it tomorrow at some point. But at the same time, if it's a $50 game, I'm not going to buy it because I can go and play FTL, which A, I already own, and B, I think is like $4. So, well, I think when I bought it, it was $4. I don't know if it's currently on sale or what, but
$10.99.
Yeah. Okay. So still,
Good price.
Now, on the other hand, if Cursed Crew is $20, then yeah, let's talk.
Yep.
That's, the price of a movie. Okay, cool. But when you're asking $90 for a game, you're asking a hell of a you're asking me to make a hell of a leap of faith on your game
when it's brand new, at least.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, this is kind of why Nintendo says that they don't reduce their prices, because they're like, well, you can wait and find out if people like it, but you're still going to pay full price. And okay, but that's not
we don't
how
have
most
to like it. But that reasoning makes sense.
Yeah, but that's not how this will work. Skull and Bones will be $50 in 6 months, and like, do I really need to play it right away?
Well, that and Nintendo games are finished products. Like the game,
right?
It doesn't matter when you buy the game. Like, you could go out and buy Breath of the Wild right now, and it's going to be the same Breath of the Wild that everybody else has played.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, very rarely do they have to fix anything. They add little bits, but they work when you buy them.
Yeah. Whereas Skull and Bones is it's a live service game.
Yeah, which is a point against it right off the top of the head.
Yeah. I mean, and this when it was announced, they were trying to cash in on the the whole naval combat thing that sparked Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and the mechanics in that I've heard the naval mechanics in that are really good. They're great. Was never a fan of the whole naval ship battles in Assassin's Creed 3, so 4 was kind of like, no, I'm not gonna skip. But at the end of the day, it's a live service game, and we talked about this before. Like, how are people's time now is very, like,
it's precious,
right? So to devote playing something like that, and I don't know how long it is. I don't know what the whole, like, game plan is for that. I look at that, but I look at Helldivers 2 and I'm like, okay, cool. I can go down. We can shoot some shit with my buddies.
Yeah,
and it'll
it's
be
15
fun.
minutes a pop. That's the entire point, is that it's fast.
Yeah.
At least that's what the first one was. I assume the second one is the same. I hope.
Yeah. So, I agree with you 100%. Like, I can totally see Skull and Bones in maybe like a year being like at a reduced price.
Yeah.
Or even on Ubisoft Plus.
Right. Yeah. Like, I really struggle with games wanting such a high price to entry. And I know I'm not alone, because it's showing. Like, the games industry is growing, but AAAs aren't. Like, there are ones that are breaking records. I mean, last year, I think, what was it? Hogwarts broke some records.
Yeah.
And then obviously Power World has done very, very well. But Power World is also, it's not that expensive, is it? I forget what.
Well, I mean, shit, it's on Game Pass right now.
Yeah, like, PC, that's the thing for me. It's free.
Right. So I mean, that's the one thing.
$38.99.
Yeah.
So,
there you go. That's more like it. That's probably why it set records.
But
because that's the price point most people are willing, like, without thinking too much into it. $40 seems pretty reasonable for a game. So, well, it's $40 Canadian. So it's like, what, 30?
Yeah, 30. We'll call it 30 US.
And so
considering that, during the PS1 era, you used to be able to get brand new PS1 games for like $30. Their greatest hits were 20.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, lots of things have doubled in price in the last 3 or 4 years. So like, I get that games theoretically should cost more, but only if you can demonstrate to me that it's worth it. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and Skull and Bones hasn't. What were we talking about? Fucking Suicide Squad. Definitely
another one that the $90 in Canada. Sorry.
Yeah.
$90 in Canada. I had a friend of mine talking to me about it this week, and he was telling me like how great it was, and he was having fun playing it with his son, and hinted that he wanted me to buy it. And I told him flat out, like, I can't warrant spending $90 on something that, you know, just looks mundane to me. I mean, sure, like he told me the traversal mechanics are really good, the shooting's tight, it reminded him of The Division, and that's all well and good. But for $90, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well then, and back in the day, this wasn't universal, but back in the day, there were a lot of games that when they wanted a AAA price for it, they would offer a demo of some sort.
I was just going to say, we should be seeing the rise of demos in more AAA games now.
Absolutely.
You are seeing it. You do see it a lot more now. I mean, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, whatever the fuck is Rebirth, whatever it's called. There's a demo out now for that.
Oh, okay. Yep. See, yeah.
So like I'll probably download that and give that a run through, but there you have seen a lot of games.
There are some for sure. And as a result, I think those games are doing better. Than they would otherwise do.
And even if you're looking at smaller publishers too, they're ones that are definitely doing demos. And I think that's what's, it's easy marketing.
Yeah.
Quote unquote easy marketing.
Yeah. I mean, hardly easy, but yeah, I get what you're saying. And the other thing about games back in the day, and you know, we've harped on this before, and this is why Sarah predicted, and I tend to agree that, you know, live service is going to have a real reckoning this year. If I spent whatever the AAA price was on a PlayStation game, 3 or 4, 5, 10 years ago, whatever, doesn't matter, I could still play that game today.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be able to play Skull and Bones in 10 years.
Yep.
At least I can't count on it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll still be running, but I can't bet on that.
Yeah.
So now you're asking me to pay AAA prices for a game that may or may, like, it has a shelf life. It might be 5 years, it might be 20 years, but it has a shelf life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even giving me, I don't actually know if Skull and Bones has a demo, but like, you're not even giving me a demo. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. Fuck you, and then fuck you again. Like,
I don't even know if they have like early access for people that pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
But,
But it's just like the I almost want to call it like entitlement of some of these studios of just like, people will buy it. And the problem is they're right. People keep fucking buying these games. That's crazy. Like,
there's an open beta right now for it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's kind of a demo if it works.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot, like Cursed Crew, for instance, like, I think the demo on it is good enough that you can feel the game, but like, it's got a shitload of bugs. So I'm like, demo, sort of beta test, not quite the same thing.
Yeah. Give
me a finished demo that works. So, you know, it's all relative. Open betas sometimes suck balls. I mean, the World of Warcraft open beta was shit. I was lucky enough to be in the closed beta, so I knew how good the game was actually going to be. But it's just it's crazy.
I played all the betas for The Division and Division 2, and even I remember the vanilla Destiny beta. Like, bitch to get in, but once you were, like, have at it.
Yeah.
Going back to like the whole $89, $90 for a game, I think right now the only games that I would easily spend that on day one are like Sony first party games, because almost every Sony first party game that's come out has been like phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal. So in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and so like they solve the one problem, which is at least you can be confident that the game's going to fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't really answer whether or not I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, you probably won't, but I did.
Well, no, but like I'm saying in general, like if you give me a demo, I can tell whether I'm going to enjoy your game or not.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have to guess. Yeah. And guessing for a $90 game is like.
Well, I think a lot of them are kind of easy, because you wouldn't have liked Spider-Man 2. You probably wouldn't have liked it.
No, the stupid thing is I probably actually would have liked the game. Okay. Like it is a game that I think the gameplay, I would like both Spider-Man games. I just don't like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But like I would just turn off that portion of it and just be like, yeah, this is fun. You're swinging around as GTA with webs. That's fine.
It's man.
Yeah.
It's swing man. No. Yeah, like God of War Ragnarok came out and it was fantastic. I I'm not big on the Last of Us games, but I do not deny that they are
good
games.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima was fucking. That's probably like my favorite Sony game. I love.
But like that's a game where I wouldn't know if I liked it until I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like looking at the trailers, even watching somebody play it on stream, I'd be like, maybe. Yeah. I can't really tell.
There was Returnal. That was one of the early PS5 games. And it was like roguelike. It was hard as fuck, right? Yeah. But that one was like one of those ones where if I hadn't have played Hades, that would have been like my introduction to like the whole roguelike thing. But
at this point, the only thing I'm pretty much willing to spend, well, at this point right now, I don't think there's anything that I'm interested in spending AAA money on, but Diablo 4 was the last one that I was like, yeah, okay. And that was because Diablo 3 was the demo for Diablo 4. And I stand by Diablo 4 will be good at some point. And it's getting better. It's actually pretty good now. It's gotten better and it will continue getting better. But even Hogwarts Legacy, like the only reason I took the plunge on it is because Danielle wanted me to. It's like, okay, well, if there's two of us going to play it, that makes the money a little more palatable. But like, it's that leap of faith. I'm like, you want me to pay you $90 for a game that I haven't even tried?
Yeah. Yep.
That's asking a lot. That's a fifth of a console, for fuck's sake.
You could have been 1/5 of the way there to your PS5.
Right.
Actually, if you include Diablo 4, you could have probably had half of it paid for.
Oh God, yeah, easy. Or a new graphics card half paid for, right? It's they're asking a lot and they're giving very little, and these games have a shelf life, and as much as it doesn't matter how many times I say it, but like I wish people would be a little more careful with their not that people shouldn't spend their money. Spend it wisely.
Yes.
Give it to people who respect you.
Yes.
Fuckers who tell you that you should give them $90 because they wrote some code and they're not even going to show you any meaningful respect by giving you a demo or anything else. They don't respect you. Don't give them your fucking money. Yeah. Give it to people who actually care. Give it to people who are going to charge you $30 and give you a demo and are responsive to their community and,
Yep.
Yeah, I just wish people were a little more wise.
Yeah.
So.
Well, tell us what you think about that. How much are you willing to pay for a good game, huh? 40, 50, 60? How much, huh?
What's your upper limit?
Oh, that's a bad question to ask.
If you bought Helldivers 2, let us know if you've been playing it, what you think of it. Throw it down there in the comments down below.
Yeah. And we'll probably catch you on Wednesday. I was going to stream this last Wednesday, but I was down with food poisoning, so I was vomiting instead.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. Anything, Sarah, you want to?
No.
All right. Well,
just, tell some friends.
Tell
Watch.
All the friends.
You know what? Sit down with your friends and force them to watch this with you.
Get some toothpicks.
Don't force them. Just throw it on in the background.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't actually care if people are watching as long as the view count goes.
Yes.
We love you all so much.
Thank you for joining.
Toodle-loo.